And welcome back. This is going to be a quick 5-minute video showing how I put the wheel pants together for the RV14. Right now I'm just trimming off some of the excess on the aft half of this to get the lip to size, and then once I get this cut, then I will sand the inner side of the forward half to try to get as smooth of a seam as you can. Obviously there's some excess material from the fiberglassing process, and so you have to sand it down a little bit. Once you get that smooth and done correctly, then you're going to trim off some of the hole opening for where the wheel is going to go through. Now, I believe the instructions have you ensure a 5/8 of an inch gap around the tire, but talking to several RV14 flyers, they've all recommended making this at least 3/4 to an inch spacing, just in case and when you get a flat. Several folks have had the fiberglass wheel pant fracture when they had a flat because they didn't have the clearance, and then the excess sidewall material as it's spinning and while it's flat just broke the fiberglass. So to prevent that, they've all recommended making it a larger opening for that instance. Now once you get it all trimmed to size, then you're going to put it together, and then now I'm setting up to align the holes for the mounting bracket. And so the mounting bracket obviously attaches to the axle of the main wheel, and then you've got to drill the holes for the bracket. Now this is just getting it all lined up properly so that it's the correct size and aligned properly on the wheel. The process, you have to have a very good flashlight to try to shine through both the hole of the bracket and then the hole you're looking for it to line up with the thin spots, the little thin holes where you can see it shine through. And it's not the easiest process. It took me several attempts. Unfortunately, on the second wheel pant, I got a little overconfident and I thought I had it just right on, and I ended up trimming too much. Like you see me here, I'm trimming off the forward half to get the holes to line up properly. And unfortunately, I trimmed too much, so I ended up having about an 1/8 inch of a gap with the forward half fiberglass where it meets up with the aft fiberglass once I mounted it on the tire. So you just got to be really careful when you're working on that you're actually seeing it correctly and you're not over trimming that forward half. And then here, just cutting out the hole that's going to where the main landing gear is going to go through the fiberglass. Has you reference one of the Cleco holes and then take measurements from that and then cut out the material. And so you just want to make sure you cut that out correctly and follow the instructions. It's not all that difficult, and then file it down and round off all the corners. Now with that one that I messed up, I can either buy a new forward half shell and go through the whole process again, but as several people have reminded me, fiberglass is pretty easy to repair. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is you can use electrical tape, and resin apparently won't stick to that. And so I'm going to tape the aft section where the forward half overlaps it, and then put it together, and then use some resin to basically extend the aft half or the forward half to meet the aft half correctly, and just see if that works. If it doesn't, then I'll go ahead and buy a new new wheel pants and start over on a new set there. But might as well try the cheap part first. Now that I don't live in Oregon, it's a lot more expensive to have things shipped, so we'll try the cheap part. And once you get all put it in together or put all the hole cut out, then you're ready to start mounting it onto the bracket. And then you're gonna basically just make sure everything lines up, and the process then you're gonna drill the holes where you're gonna eventually I believe it's Cleco or riveted together or screwed together, I'm sorry, but I haven't gotten to that part yet. Again, just kind of worrying about how I'm going to repair the other one. So here's the process, putting it on and then just lining everything up and making sure that it fits correctly and it sits on there correctly. So going forward, I've got several projects, big projects on this that I'm working on. Right now I've got the engine. I'm getting set to actually mount the engine. I think I have everything on the firewall forward that I want to get on before I mount the engine. So I borrowed a engine hoist from a friend, and we'll start putting that together and getting it hopefully onto the forward end of this airplane here pretty soon. So I'm looking forward to that. After that, it's going to be working on a canopy, and I might wait until the spring because it's in the 40s right now, and I think that's going to be a little too cold. I don't want to crack the canopy. So those will be the next projects coming up, but I just wanted to get this video out real quick. For all those that follow and have questions, I appreciate them. I always love interacting with folks and answering any questions that you may have. So we'll see you next time.